Good evening. How's everybody doing? I want to talk about this idea, and you hear it a lot. I talked about Peter Schiff the other day, and how he thinks that Bitcoin is going to zero. And I'm going to keep hearing this thing. It's going to zero. Somehow Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, they're all going to zero. Which tells me that whoever is saying that doesn't really understand what's going on here. And I will say this, would like to say this in response to that either Bitcoin is going, or cryptocurrencies, or the blockchain is going to zero, or it's going to take over the world. That's it. There's not going to be in between. It's not going to be Bitcoin ends up being a dog and languishes around a few $1,000s and never makes anything bigger than that, or EOS or something like that comes out and just kind of flounders around and doesn't really ever be anything big. No, it's either going to go to zero, it doesn't work, nobody uses it, it's all a big joke, or it's going to be priceless. It's going to take over the world. And the reason I say that is because it's already working. It's already being used. And when you look at decentralized databases that are able to distribute information over the internet, being transparent, the open ledger, having people be able to do things easier. I'll give you, for instance. Today we have insurance contracts, and insurance contracts are very hard to understand. In fact, I always hear this, and it's probably true. You don't know what you're going to get out of your insurance plan until you have a loss. And then when you have a loss, you have to go through a long process to figure out if you're even going to get paid. In fact, I was watching this YouTuber the other night, and he's a guy he travels the world, and he makes money by doing internet work. And he was in a country, I can't remember where, Bali or Indonesia or someplace like that, and he got in an accident with his scooter. And he was really badly hurt. In fact, I think his medical bills were like $10,000 or $12,000 in Bali, which is a huge sum of money. And his insurance company basically said, no, we're not going to pay for it. And he didn't know why. He said, I pay a lot of money every year. And it seemed like he was doing fairly well. He had, good businesses online. Because I pay a lot of money every year. And now I get in an accident, I put a claim into my insurance company and they don't pay it. Well, being someone that has internet presence, he put the information on the internet, and so many people put in pressure on the insurance company, they did end up paying his medical bills. And because he got so much feedback from people that complained about this. But that's typical insurance. You never know what you got. You never know until you get in an accident if they're ever going to pay, or the other guy's going to pay, or anything like that. That can all go away and all be a thing of the past if all this smart contract is brought into fruition, and you know exactly what you're getting, and there is no nebulousness of the insurance company and the underwriter and the subrogation, and if one company's going to pay or the other company's going to pay. No, it can be very well laid out and structured. In fact, it can be better than that. It can all be written in code. So it's all very mathematically taking place. All very mathematically happens in a certain way. Now, either that idea is going to take over the world, or it's going to go to zero. Either that's going to be the way we run the future, or it's going to be nothing. So that's what you have to look at here. Is the blockchain going to take over the world? Is it going to be the way we do things in the future? I would say yes, based on what I understand and what I know, that the systems in place today aren't going to go away. I don't believe currencies are going to go away. I don't believe banks are going to go away. I don't believe insurance companies are going to go away. But they're going to be structured in such a way that it's going to run a lot smoother. And it's going to be a lot better for everybody. And there's going to be money in the system that never was there before, because of the way we're doing things, the way things are being structured in the blockchain. People are going to be able to make money. They're going to be able to make a living. They're going to be able to make a lot of money by just being able to go online and place content. And by placing content online, it's going to be able to be monetized, and it's going to have some value. Today, a wonderful platform. I love YouTube. This video is going on YouTube as well as DTube. I think YouTube is one of the best ideas ever to come about, but it has a flaw. And the flaw in YouTube is that very few people can make a living at it. Very, very, very few people can make a living at YouTube. You have to have an extraordinarily good content. You have to have an extraordinarily large number of subscribers. and you have to work really hard at it. The people that have to work really, really, really hard and build that up, they can make a living at it. But there's millions and millions of people putting content on YouTube every day that don't make a living at it and never will. And as hard as they struggle and as hard as they fight and as many years as they put into it, it'll never monetize. It'll never turn into anything. And I don't, it's not because they're not putting work product into it. It's just the way it is. It's just the way YouTube's structured. It's just that YouTube is structured so that so many other places where the money's going, much of it goes to Google. Much of it goes to the advertisers. Much of it goes, it's all, set up in such a way that the actual content developer gets very little out of it. And that's unfortunate. And that's a problem with YouTube. Now, if you can come up with something like DTube, where the content creator gets almost all the benefit, just like with EOS, almost all the benefit goes to the people that are putting something on the platform, and nothing's going to the company. The people that are putting EOS together aren't making billions of dollars right now. They're not flying around in luxury jets, and they're taking the money and they're putting it back into the platform, and they're going to invest in the businesses that build on that platform. And the way it's going to work is everybody that owns a piece of that platform is going to benefit. And the block builders that are building the blocks so it can continue to go on, so it can continue to grow, so the information is put out there over the decentralized databases, they get a little piece of the pie by the inflation that takes place every year. So they're being well paid. So everybody's being well paid. There's everybody's happy with a system like DTube. Or Steemit, or Steam, or as EOS, obviously Dan Lambert. Everybody, same guy. Everybody's happy with those systems. People can make money. I've seen people jump on DTube right away and make more money than they ever make off of YouTube. So, is that way of doing things going to be the future, or are we going to go back to where only a few make money, everybody else ends up working in the system for very little, if nothing at all, and people cannot monetize the content that they put online? So I would say to you, is the cryptocurrencies going to zero, or are they going to take over the world? Are they going to zero, or are they going to be worth nothing? It's either one or the other. It's not some sort of, it's never going to work, or not, the idea's not going to work. Believe me, it's computing, it's writing code, and it's just, and there's a lot of smart people working on this right now, and the incentives are great. So it will be solved. Any problem, the scalability, whatever it is that you think that could be a problem with this, that it may not work out, will get solved. It will get solved. And it's going to get solved pretty quickly. So anybody that doesn't think, and I'm thinking, my mind goes racing every day about how this is changing our world. How businesses are going to be run differently. Like I say, things aren't going to be, the Earth's not going to change and shift axis because of the blockchain. It's just going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot better for almost everybody. There's a few it's not going to be better for. There's people that have had the majority of the wealth in the world. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be better for them. But for the average person, the everyday guy, the everyday person that works, the everyday person that is trying to make a living, the everyday person that's trying to start a business, I think this will be better. And when people see that it's better, there's no amount of regulation, there's no amount of resistance or friction that's going to stop it once it starts to work. Because when it works, everybody's going to love it, and it's going to take over. And there is no more going to zero. And I don't care. There's a lot of talk right now about, governments are going to come in and regulate, and, the insurance companies or the big businesses, the banks are going to come in and stop it. I don't believe that's going to be the case. In fact, I almost know it's not going to be the case. It's like with the internet. Could anybody stop the internet? Could the government say, we really don't like this internet thing because, you know what? It allows information to be let out there that we don't want to know, that we don't want to be disseminated. We don't want to know a lot of. You put stuff on the internet all the time that makes governments look bad, that makes, different politicians, they can't stop it. They try to stop it a little bit. With YouTube, they're trying to get a handle on a little bit of the stuff that goes out, so they got a little bit more control over it by demonetizing channels, or, by having restrictions as far as community rules and regulations and community guidelines, or whatever they call it. But they can't stop the overall idea, the overall process. of connectivity and people, connecting with people all over the world through the internet. They can't stop that. They're never going to be able to stop that. They're not going to be able to stop me sitting here in Southern California, getting on Skype and talking to anybody in the world. I mean, that's out of the bag. It's not going to be able to be stopped. The internet wasn't going to be able to be stopped, and neither is the blockchain. It's not going to be able to be stopped. There's just no way. There's just no way it's going to be stopped. So to Peter Schiff, and to everybody like Peter Schiff, and to everybody out there that's looking at this thing going, we don't know where it's going to go, and we don't know. It could be nothing. It could be nothing. It could go nothing. It could go zero. Think again. It's not going to zero. And if it doesn't go to zero and it works, it will be worth everything. It'll be the next thing on the, bigger than I believe than the internet. And I was around in the internet days. I was around and I saw the internet ahead of time. I was one of the people that was doing on e-commerce business way back in the late 1990s. I had an internet business because I saw how valuable it was. Because I saw that, why would I want to go out and set up a physical storefront when I could go on the internet and set up a web page and sell something from my website with the shopping cart and be able to ship it to anywhere in the world? Why would I just, limit myself to a few people in my geographic location as opposed to getting on the internet and creating? So I saw that way back when. And so I created a business, and I ran the business until to 2008, and I still run the business a little bit today. But, I saw the benefits of being on the internet. But anyway, the blockchain is not going away, and it's not going to zero. Bitcoin's not going away, and it's not going to zero. EOS is not going away and not going to zero. Ethereum's not going away and not going to zero. I mean, it's these things are not going to go to zero, and they're not going to go away. So anybody that thinks otherwise, put my video away. Let's wait a few years, and we'll see who's right. I'll make a pretty good wager this video is going to be true. So anyway, thanks for watching.